Imagine a world where the mighty T-Rex roars once again, not in movies or museums, but in reality. What would happen? The Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex for short, was one of the most formidable predators to ever exist. With a length of up to 40 feet and a weight of nearly 9 tons, this colossal creature was a force to be reckoned with. Its powerful jaws were capable of crushing bone, and its teeth, some as long as a human forearm, were designed for ripping and tearing flesh. As an apex predator, the T-Rex sat at the very top of the food chain, its diet consisting primarily of large herbivores. Now, let's consider what might happen if we brought this fearsome beast back into the mix. To do so, we can look at similar situations where apex predators were reintroduced into their ecosystems. One prime example is the reintroduction of wolves into Yellowstone National Park. The return of the wolves had a massive impact on the park's ecosystem. They controlled the population of large herbivores, which in turn allowed vegetation to thrive. This cascade effect even altered the course of rivers, demonstrating the profound effect a top predator can have on its environment. In the same vein, the return of the T-Rex could potentially have far-reaching effects on our ecosystem. As with the wolves in Yellowstone, the T-Rex would likely control the population of large herbivores. However, given their sheer size and strength, their impact could be even more dramatic, reshaping landscapes and dramatically altering the balance of life. However, the T-Rex isn't just any predator. It's a creature from a different time, a different world. Its reintroduction would not be a simple matter of re-establishing an old balance, but rather creating a new one. So, the reintroduction of T-Rex would certainly shake up the food chain, but how exactly? And what would this mean for us humans? Would we be able to survive in a world where the tyrant lizard king reigns supreme? And if so, how would we adapt to this new, wild reality? Let's delve deeper. The food chain is a fragile balance, and introducing a new predator, especially one as powerful as T-Rex, would cause ripples. The Tyrannosaurus rex, a colossal carnivore, was once a dominant predator, ruling the Cretaceous period with an iron jaw. But how would this apex predator fare in today's food chain? Imagine this: the T-Rex, with its towering height and formidable strength, competing with the likes of lions, tigers, and bears for a spot at the top of the food chain. It's a clash of titans, a struggle for survival, and the stakes are high. The T-Rex's primary prey would likely be large herbivores, elephants, rhinos, and perhaps even some of the larger species of deer. These animals, unaccustomed to such a formidable predator, would see a significant drop in their population numbers. This decrease could lead to overgrowth of vegetation, which in turn may cause other unforeseen ecological impacts. The ripple effect wouldn't stop there. The predators that once feasted on these herbivores would find their food sources dwindling. They'd have to adapt, change their hunting patterns, or face the threat of starvation. And then there's the competition for food. With T-Rex back on the scene, other predators would face a serious challenge. Would a pride of lions or a pack of wolves dare to take on a T-Rex for a kill? Or would they be relegated to scavengers, picking at the leftovers of the T-Rex's feast? The introduction of T-Rex wouldn't just affect the food chain, it would send it into a tailspin. Populations would fluctuate, habitats might change, and the survival of many species could hang in the balance. Yet amid all this chaos, life would find a way. Nature has a knack for adapting to even the most drastic changes. New predators might rise to challenge the T-Rex, species might evolve, and the food chain, though altered, would eventually find a new equilibrium. With the T-Rex's predation, the balance of our ecosystem would surely be tipped. But what about us? The T-Rex wasn't just a predator, it was an apex predator, and that means we'd be on the menu too. In this new world order, our survival would hinge on adaptation. We'd need to rethink our defenses, bolstering them against a beast of such colossal strength and size. Our homes, cities, and vehicles would need to be fortified to withstand a T-Rex attack. Travel patterns would change drastically too. No longer could we wander freely, but would need to consider the safest routes and times to avoid these fearsome creatures. Our nighttime strolls and weekend hikes might become a thing of the past, replaced by a more cautious and guarded lifestyle. We'd also need to adapt our food production systems to ensure a steady supply amidst this upheaval. Farming and livestock rearing would need to be protected, possibly even moved indoors or underground. Survival is a game of adapt or perish, but could there be any benefits to having T-Rex back? It may sound crazy, but reintroducing T-Rex could have some unexpected benefits. Imagine for a moment a world where overpopulated species are kept in check by the mighty tyrant lizard king. The delicate balance of nature, often disrupted by the excessive growth of certain species, could be restored in a rather dramatic fashion. Moreover, consider the impact on climate change. The T-Rex, as an apex predator, would regulate herbivore populations. This could lead to a reduction in the consumption of vegetation, allowing forests to flourish and, consequently, absorb more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. We must also ponder on the potential evolutionary pressure that the T-Rex could exert on existing species, possibly leading to fascinating evolutionary leaps, as survival becomes a more complex puzzle to solve. As daunting as it may seem, the return of the T-Rex could bring about a new era of ecological balance. So what would a world with T-Rex really look like? Imagine a planet where the tyrant lizard king once again reigns supreme. The food chain would be thrown into a tumultuous state of flux. Apex predators that we're familiar with, like lions, tigers, and bears, would have to contend with a new, formidable competitor. What about us humans? Survival would be a stark, challenging game. Our cities and towns would need to be fortified, and new survival strategies would have to be developed. We'd need to rethink how we live, travel, and interact with the natural world. Yet, despite the potential chaos, there could be some unexpected benefits. The introduction of the T-Rex might stimulate rapid evolutionary adaptations in other species, leading to a more dynamic and resilient ecosystem. While it's fascinating to imagine, the return of the T-Rex is a scenario that would radically reshape life as we know it. For now, we'll have to be content with their legacy in the fossil record and our imaginations.